Alright, show me you're ready. Tyler, first page of your math notes. Let's go. Okay, so on your table of contents, go ahead and put number 1, and we're going to put compare fractions. And put a dot, dot, dot. It's going to be page 1. And then, after you do that, turn the page and title this page Compare Fractions. Capitalize and underline your title. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to put page 1. So just a 1 and circle it. You got it. Okay. So we're going to take some notes about how to compare fractions. Tonight's homework is all about comparing fractions. So the first thing, our first case that we looked at, if we have the same denominator. Who can think of two fractions with the same denominator? Give me an example. Steven.
2/4 and 3/4.
Okay, so just put number 1. Let's say we have 2/4 and 3/4. Which is greater? Raise your hand. Greta. 3/4. How do you know 3/4 is more than 2/4? Selma.
Because 3 is more than 2.
Right. So next to that, I'm going to write if both fractions have the same denominator. Then the fraction with the greater numerator is bigger. Okay, then skip a line and put number 2. We had a couple examples where both fractions had the same numerator. So who can give me an example of two fractions with the same numerator? Okay, Christopher.
5, 7, and 5, 8.
Okay. Stop. Which is greater? Damon.
5, 7.
Good. So what is our rule with the same numerator? Hunter.
If both fractions have the same numerator, then you pick the smallest denominator.
Very good. Let's write that down. So now, for number 3, I'm going to show you guys the shortcut. Okay? Sometimes we have fractions that we're comparing, and they have different numerators and different denominators. For example, 3/4 and 5/8. Which is greater? Well, this doesn't fit our numerator rule or the denominator rule, does it? So we're going to find a common denominator. So we're going to be making some equivalent fractions. So I want you guys to do this one with me, so I'll go through the steps. So I'm going to take 3/4 equals and 5/8 equals. And I'm going to be making equivalent fractions. We're finding a common denominator. So I'm going to look at 4 and I'm going to look at 8. What number will both 4 and 8 go into? Got it? 16. I bet you can think of one that's smaller. Selma?
2.
No, 2 is less than 4. 4 can't go into 2. 8 can't go into 2. You're thinking factors.
10.
8 doesn't go into 10 evenly.
12.
8 doesn't go into 12 evenly. Tyler?
8.
8. Good job. So I'm going to just put an 8 and an 8. Now, how do I go from 8 to 8? What's my multiplier? Remember we talked about multiplier? What would it be, Eliza? Very good. So I'm going to just put real small times 1. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the
top.
Guys, what's 5 times 1? 5. Okay. Now up here, how do we go from 4 to 8? Kyle.
By 2.
Times 2. What I do to the bottom, I do to the...
Top.
What's 3 times 2, everybody?
6.
Okay. Now I can compare 6/8 and 5/8. Which is greater? 6/8. Okay, so if 6/8 is greater, then 3/4 is greater. Because basically what I did is I changed 3/4 into 6/8. And I changed 5/8, well, it stayed the same, didn't it? And I knew 6/8 was greater, so then 3/4 has to be greater. Isn't that a cool little method? So this is called finding the common denominator. We should write that down. How about we just put it right here? I'll do a little star. Finding the common denominator. Guys, with your math notes, if you ever are absent or you need more time to keep writing, you can always borrow mine, okay, or another student next